Hi, thank you for joining me. This is Triple Moon Mystic, and I'm here with your 2020 forecast for fire signs. Thank you for joining me on my first set of videos posting to YouTube as I begin my mission of healing through tarot cards. I hope you enjoy this and it resonates with you. The decks I'm going to be using today is the Tarot de la Nuit for the main tarot, and I will also be using the in-between tarot for bridging energies, and I will be using the Sufi wisdom deck, oracle deck, for energies and advice. So what I'm doing here today is a spread that was brought to me in a meditation. It's covering the first, second, and third quarter energies for 2020. And let's go ahead and get right in. Of course, I have pre-shuffled and prepared my decks off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and shuffle a couple more times on camera, and we will start pulling these cards. All right, so for fire signs in the first quarter of 2020, what are the issues, challenges that the masculine energies are going to be dealing with in 2020? I address energies as divine masculine, divine feminine, and gender is not a factor, so take it as it applies to you. Okay, so let's get these first cards out and see what Spirit has to say. Oops. I have very small hands and I always have a hard time shuffling. There we go. All right, so the first card out we have is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so I have the Knight of Swords. And the second card I'm pulling off the top is the Queen of Wands. Okay, so what I'm getting from these first two cards for this group that I'm connecting with is in the first quarter of 2020, these masculines are going to they're really wanting to come forward. Swords are an energy, the Knight of Swords is fast moving energy. It's about wanting to come forward with a message, wanting to come forward with truth to his Queen of Wands. And that I'm getting as the feminine in this connection. And he's really thinking heavily of you and wanting to come forward. So in the first quarter of 2020, that's what this masculine's going to be dealing with. Second quarter, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups, we see this, it's a little different than the traditional tarot. We see this young woman in an alley alone, and it's can be a card of past lives. It can also be a card of reminiscing, thinking about the past. And let me see what the second card is here. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, it's interesting, we have two queens out here, the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. And with this Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands is all about passion, and she's driven, and she's going after her goals, and she's creative, and all the things that embody wands. With the Queen of Pentacles, she signifies abundance, and also she's a nurturer. She takes care of those around her. And I'm just looking right here, this card, it's catching my eye. She's holding a key. And it's like I'm seeing that it's like the key to this masculine's heart. And she's, yeah, it's really beautiful actually. And we're gonna get clarifiers to look a little bit more into these energies once we get the four quarters laid out and look at how the story hangs together. So for our third quarter of 2020, it's masculine. Okay. We have the Two of Wands. Okay, and this Two of Wands, most of the images in this deck are female, which I actually really like, and it seems kind of like a dark deck, but it's really not. But this queen, this person in this picture, she's looking at the skull. She's faced with a choice. She has a decision to make. And she's making a decision, in fact. Let's see what's this next card we have coming up here for this. It's our Two of Wands. Normally I would pull off the top, but I'm feeling the need to shuffle again. So let's get one more card for the third quarter of 2020. Okay, well, we have the Six of Swords. Okay, and Six of Swords in the traditional tarot talks about moving out of difficulty, chaos, energies that are not settled into smoother water. So that's interesting, making a decision to move forward perhaps. Okay, fourth quarter, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay. And the next card is the Knight of Cups. Okay, and with this Ace of Wands and Knight of Cups, aces are about being, so I always view aces as something coming that's divinely planned. It's coming from spirit. They're strong cards, and with the Ace of Wands, this is about a new beginning, a new relationship perhaps. And this Knight of Cups is a knight that's coming forward with an offer, and with it being cups, it typically signifies an offer of love. And interesting, because at the bottom of this deck we have the Ace of Swords, which I feel really belongs here. And the Ace of Swords is about understanding your truth, coming into your truth, and knowing what it is that you should be, what you should be focusing on, what it is that you want, and moving forward. So in this first quarter of 2020, what I'm seeing so far is we have this Knight of Swords who's coming to an understanding of his truth and is ready to move forward. He's moved out of the page position, which is just starting to understand, into the movement position towards his Queen of Wands. And in the second, this is what he's wanting to do, okay? And in the second quarter of 2020, we're seeing a lot of reminiscing about the connection that you had, about you. He views you as somebody who is abundant, someone who took care of herself and those around her. I feel like this is somebody who probably was very giving in the connection, and he's missing that. And of course, Six of Cups always has that indication of a past life connection as well, so that's a possibility here too. And in the third quarter, he's making a decision to move forward out of perhaps negative cycles or karmic partnerships, karmic behaviors, towards the light. She's looking into the light, looking towards that light. And in the first quarter coming forward, the fourth quarter, having a full understanding, wanting to come forward with a passionate new beginning and an offer. So I'm going to be using the In-Between Tarot here to see what these bridging energies are between each of the quarters, and what are the things that this masculine is going to be overcoming, experiencing, so on and so forth, to kind of transition from one phase to the next. So in the first quarter of 2020, as he's understanding his truth and wanting to move towards his Queen of Wands, what is the bridging energy? Because we're really not seeing any movement between the first and second quarters. So what are we dealing with here? Okay, so we have the Three of Coins, or the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is about community. It's about working together as a community, but it can also be, when I see threes, sometimes that indicates to me that there may be more than one party involved. So between this first and second quarter of 2020, I feel like this masculine is thinking about how to move forward. And I also wanted to mention here with these cards, this before and after tarot, I forgot to explain. This is in between the cards. We have the Three of Pentacles and we have the Four of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles in traditional tarot is, like I said, it's about community and working together to accomplish. And then the Four of Coins is about withholding, holding back. And so while this could be an indication that he is working and putting his resources elsewhere, he is holding back from this connection. But it's still on his mind. It is still absolutely on his mind with his Queen of Pentacles here. All right, and so moving between the second and the third quarters of 2020, what energies is this masculine experiencing? Okay, let's get one card here. Whoops, too many. Shuffle. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow, I love this. We have the Justice card. And so with this in-between tarot, it's in between Justice and the Hanged Man. So you have this woman who's blindfolded with a sword, holding the scales of justice, coming forward toward this group of men. And I don't know if you can tell, my ring light there. They are carrying a hanged man, essentially. There's someone that they're carrying through that's just basically a body. And justice is coming forward to take care of this stagnant, lack of movement, total standstill that's been occurring in this connection. She's coming to balance the scales. And so that is what is coming through, bringing this masculine from the second quarter into the third quarter of 2020, where we see the first card of real movement, which is the Six of Swords, Two of Wands, making a decision to move forward, and justice is coming in to push this masculine in that direction. Justice for this feminine in the connection. And so from the third quarter, where he's making the decisions and starting to move forward. Oh, this one flew out. Okay, we have the Six of Cups again. Interesting, because we saw him reminiscing in the second quarter over his Queen of Pentacles. And I see two queens here with this Queen of Wands and this Queen of Pentacles, but I do feel like this energy represents the feminine and how he's perceiving her at these different periods of time during the year. And here we again have the Six of Cups. And in this deck, we see it's in between the Six and the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is about options. It can be about confusion and trying to figure out a way forward. And what is he trying to figure out a way forward to? And you see the couple there in the top toward his feminine. He's really trying to figure out how to come out of this energy of stuck. Justice comes in, helps him to begin to move forward out of the karmic cycles, out of the karmic partnerships, out of the karmic behaviors, making a decision to move toward his true destiny, his Ace of Wands, and coming forward with that offer. So I see that it may very well be towards the second half of the year before you may see any movement in this connection. But understand that a lot of healing needs to take place in these connections, and healing takes time. And many of the masculines have been closing out karmic cycles, and some are still in them and are continuing, they're moving towards the end. I mean, the overriding energy here was this Ace of Swords. So we have the two aces, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, and we have mostly Wands and Swords on the table here. We have a couple of Pentacles, and we have the Six of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So there is a lot of passion that he feels, a lot of reminiscing for what you once had, but just a real inability to understand how to come forward and fix. I'm getting that with this Justice card. What's gone wrong in this connection? So we're going to switch decks now, and I'm going to move over to the Sufi Wisdom, and we're going to take a look at some lessons that this masculine is going to be learning over the year, and what he's going to be facing. And just understand, those of you that are watching, that masculines seem to, by and large, be the ones who are carrying most of the karma in many of these connections, and the feminines seem to be carrying a lot of the chakra healing and the past life healing. So please have compassion for them as they move through these cycles, because it's very possible that the karma that they're clearing is karma that you created together, or perhaps in this lifetime or a past lifetime. So let me see if we're going to get some cards here. Nothing is coming out, so I may just, let me see, I may just start pulling off the top. Let me give it a shuffle or two more. See where they want me to stop. Maybe one more. Nope, it's not it. This is it right here. Okay. Trust your gut. Let your heart lead you to who you are. So, interesting, with this Knight of Swords and Queen of Wands, we get trust your gut feeling. So, in this first quarter, as he's wanting to come forward to this Queen, he wants to trust his gut. He wants to let his heart lead him, but he just can't quite figure out how to do it. He's got too many things distracting him. He's got perhaps friends or family or people around him who he is working with that are keeping him from moving forward. And so he's learning to trust himself and to connect with spirit, and to really try to understand what his purpose is and where he belongs. For the second quarter, we get Heart of the Matter. Align life's pathways through the heart. So this is actually pretty synchronistic, and I love this card. We have this, I don't know, I guess it's like an angel or something coming down to this woman on the rock, and she's not wearing any clothes, and nudity or nakedness indicates vulnerability. And in the second quarter, as he's reminiscing over his Queen of Pentacles, he's really, his heart. So we have trust your gut, let your heart lead you to who you are, and then align your pathway through the heart. So that's what he's going to be working on as he's thinking about you and wanting. I mean, he's got a lot of passion. He wants to come forward, but he's not doing it yet. He's still thinking, reminiscing, Six of Cups, thinking about the good times, think about the abundance that you had together. But he's learning to trust his gut and to open his heart. And those are the lessons in the first two quarters that he's dealing with, okay? The third quarter, we have imagination. Draw from the well of your own capabilities. And this is interesting because with imagination, we had this bridging energy coming from third to fourth quarter with the Seven of Cups kind of lingering here. And that's all about understanding your options and perhaps even confusion or thinking your way through and how to solve something. And it's like he is using his imagination to figure out how to get out of this situation with you with the Six of Swords, how to move forward. And he's making his decision. And he's thinking, and he's with capabilities. I'm also feeling like gaining self-confidence to move forward, into this reunion. This Six of Cups I'm seeing as reunion. This Six of Cups over here I'm seeing more as reminiscing. You can sort of see the difference in the pictures here. So he's moving from reminiscing, figuring out what to do, and trusting himself. And then this last quarter, make friends. Friendship is the alchemy of success. So what I'm getting from this is that it's quite possible that when your masculine is ready and finally is able to move forward, that he's going to need your friendship before anything else. And what better basis or what better foundation for a connection than friendship? And that may not be what you want to hear, but honestly, I feel that many of the masculines in this collective are still very wounded, and when they come to you, they're not going to be fully healed. They just aren't. And they're going to need your compassion. They're trying to open their hearts to this connection. I feel like this particular group of masculines who I'm channeling probably have been very standoffish. I probably withheld their feelings, acted like they didn't care, made you think that they didn't want anything to do with you, and really withheld all of their feelings and probably walked away because it was too intense, because they weren't they probably had some kind of wounding or past life, this life or past life wounding that has kept them from opening their heart to a true emotional connection. And perhaps with the wands that we're seeing here, maybe he was sort of a player. Maybe this masculine didn't want to settle down, and he's finding out that all of this fun and games really isn't what he thought it was going to be. I'm getting the grass wasn't greener. So I'm going to pull one more card off of the top to sort of crown the energy of the connection for the year. Willpower. Interesting. Improve your willpower to reduce your stress. So feminines, I'm feeling like this card is for you. And I just love all the purples and the blues. It just makes me think of the crown and the third eye and connecting with spirit. And I'm feeling like many of you are probably just done and probably wanting to walk away and just like, I can't keep doing this anymore. I need to go, and I just wanted to stop. I don't want to feel this anymore. And you should release the past memories, your Six of Cups, release your past reminiscence of sad memories of things that didn't go well, of the sense of maybe even being a victim, and go through and allow yourself to go with the flow. And that may take some willpower for you to remain patient. But ultimately, it is up to you and what you think is best for you. You have to follow your own instincts, your own gut, and to listen to your own guides. But I feel like part of this willpower, when this masculine does come back to you, and you may or may not hear anything from him earlier on, but it may not be the offer you're looking for. He's really not going to be fully ready to offer you what it is that you want until third to fourth quarter of the year is what it's looking like to me. And with willpower, you really need to recognize that when he comes forward, if he comes forward and he isn't healed enough, or he isn't in a place to offer you a balanced give and take, an equal partnership, then having the willpower to not jump right away into something that isn't based on friendship, jumping right back into a romantic relationship isn't going to be in the best interest of either of you. It needs to be grounded. And I'm very much feeling, because I didn't show you earlier, but the bottom of one of these decks that I was looking at, this last one, was the Knight of Coins. And Knights of Coins are very slow moving energy, but they're extremely stable. That's the one you want. That's the knight you want. You don't want the Knight of Swords. He's reckless. He wants to move fast. He wants to come in. He's got passion, but he's just not grounded. He can be kind of reckless. So you want that Knight of Coins, and you're just going to have to have the willpower to be patient if you choose to wait for this masculine to come through. So that's what he's going to be dealing with this year. And so what I'd like to do really quickly is just, I'm going to clear these cards, and I'm going to pull some additional cards for the feminine energy, the watcher here, and see what Spirit has to say to you about things that you can be doing as your masculine is finishing out these cycles. But I do see that he is coming forward. 2020 is a year of great change, and it's going to be a year when a lot of unions come into fruition. And I'm seeing with this group of fire sign masculines that it's going to be a slow road, because I feel that perhaps they've been very stubborn and just refusing to see the truth, refusing to face. So let's go ahead and get a couple cards. I'm sorry. This is the Untold Truth of the Heart Oracle by AquaMoonlight, who's a reader here on YouTube. Her deck is available on Etsy, and I absolutely love it. So the first card out is Illusions, Clouded Judgment, Unbalanced, and Skewed. So what I'm getting from this feminine is that you may see your masculine, and he may look like everything is wonderful and he's having an amazing time and his life is going great, but don't allow your judgment to be clouded by illusion. Everything is not always as it seems. The Chase, Preparation, Relentless Pursuit, and Victory. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rest of the cards here to bring out a picture of what we're looking at. Rejection, Irrational Fears, Saying No, and Dismissal. And finally, we have Time, Wait, Cycles, and Infinity. Okay, so what I'm getting from this feminines is interesting, because we saw in the last spread that last card was Willpower. And I'm seeing the cards Illusions, the Chase, Rejection, and Time. So I think it's really important for you to know that the worst thing that you can possibly do is obsess about your masculine, chase your masculine. What you really need to do is give it the time that it needs, the divine timing, waiting for cycles to close. You are infinite souls. You cannot lose something that already belongs to you. You are the same soul. If you are in one of these divine counterpart connections, some call it twin flame. I don't particularly like labels. I prefer divine counterparts. I think there's too many connotations to twin flame. I think that, anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, don't give in to illusions. Just because your person may be posting on social media, posting pictures, or you're hearing from friends about how they're doing this, that, and the other, it's all illusions. We saw in the cards, he's thinking about his feminine. He's reminiscing. He's wanting to come out of these cycles. And chasing him it could very well lead to rejection, because he has to come forward in his own time. So the best thing that you can do, I'm feeling called to pull a couple of these Sufi. No, actually, I'm going to pull these right here. I wasn't planning on using these, but this is the Enchanted map. I did pre-shuffle them. I wasn't sure if I was going to use them, but I'm feeling it. So what you need to be working on is focusing on you, focusing on your joy, focusing on what makes you happy, focusing on your own journey, taking your focus off of the masculine and giving this the time that it needs for the cycles to complete. Because you can't force it, and when you do, you're just in some cases creating more karma and causing this to take more time. So the first card out is Heal the Ouch. So feminines, what Spirit is saying is that you have your own healing to do. You have your own healing to do. Okay, I'm going to just pull off the top here. Stuck in the mud. Like I said before, don't get stuck in illusions. Don't get stuck in feeling like perhaps a victim, or feeling that an attachment to the memories, to the pain, and to the sadness. It's time to release that and to move forward and find your joy again. Oh, and here we have it. Magic stream, connecting with spirit, connecting with your own gifts, going with the flow. It's about connecting with, like, water is about our subconscious, right? And it's very healing. And it's interesting we have this magic stream with Heal the Ouch, because what I'm getting from that is you really need to connect with your own guides. You need to connect with your own spirit. Come into alignment with your own soul. Here we go. The magical map shifter for the final card number 52. So when I see this card, and I read these intuitively, I don't necessarily look at the book. Sometimes I do, but I generally just take the meaning from the pictures and the words on the front, because I am an intuitive reader. And this card really reminds me of the World card about cycles. And it also reminds me of the Seven of Cups too, because we have all these things swirling around. We have all of these possibilities, right? And this person, the eyes are blindfolded. It's about connecting with your own soul, connecting with your spirit, connecting with that, your higher self, to find your purpose and to transform into the beautiful divine being that you're meant to be. And while your masculine is closing out karmic cycles, your job is to heal yourself. Let go of attachment. Stop being stuck in the 3D, in perceptions, illusions. Connect to spirit and find your path. That's your role. While 2020 is progressing, don't worry about what your masculine is doing. Worry about what you need to do. What is your soul's contract with spirit? What do you have to offer? How can you bring forward your gifts on your own personal mission, whether that be music or writing, or, I'm seeing some things in here. I'm seeing animals, working with animals, maybe plants, working with plants, writing. I'm seeing maybe working with children. I don't know. It's important for you to move forward, find your gifts, and begin to develop your own path and your own mission separate from your masculine. And so that is the advice from Spirit for 2020 for this group of fire sign divine masculines. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you resonated with this, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like a private reading from me, my information is in my About section. All right, fire signs, thank you, and talk to you soon.